Hello, this is Tom from Never Center. In this video, I'm going to show you the newest feature we've brought to CameraBag. This is version 2022.1. You can see we've got a photo here of this fish, and we've got these bokeh light effects in the background from points of light that are outside of the focus plane. And that's the effect that we've added in CameraBag. These are simulated bokeh. So you can see as I dial this down and back up, that brings those in and out. And so this is a randomized effect. So you can hit this remix slider. You can either slide it or just like as I scroll the scroll wheel up and down, that'll change it. And then it will just randomly adjust the shape and size and the layout and everything. I can adjust these general settings like density and the sort of amount, the strength of each of these with these sliders. But then, and those will stay sort of relative to whatever the remix, the randomized element of this is. These will adjust. So if randomly these are much bigger, then the density of this will make fewer dots because it's just calculating it based on the filled area of these. But anyway, you can just basically play around with these and sort of see, just adjust the dials till you find a look that you like. One thing that I'll mention here is that you'll notice that this is placing these dots not evenly everywhere over the image. So it's not putting them over the fish or these rocks because those are in focus, and the mode that it's using, it's positioning it based on blurred areas. And you can see if I place it on the whole image, then it will place it over these things. But in real life, bokeh occurs basically in blurred places. So that's why we've got that blur detection in there. But there is another one that's interesting, which is this highlights one. I'll show you when that might be useful. So let me bring in a different photo. So I've got this night city photo, which has no blurred areas. But one of the fun things that we can do with bokeh is we can just add a blur so that this whole photo becomes blurred. And then I'll add on let's put on a bokeh effect that I've already tested out and tried for this. So this one, you can see if I place it over the blurred areas, the blur detection when the whole image is blurred, it's just going to gravitate towards areas that are a constant color. So it puts it in these black areas. But in a photo like this, where you'd see these bokeh lights, is basically in the highlights. So I choose highlights for positioning, and it puts those over there. And then as I remix this, it will just always position things over those highlights in there. This one's an interesting one. So you can see the color on this one, just from the random remix, is a sort of a bluish hue. What I can do, I've got a custom coloring thing in here, and as I pull this value towards a color, it pulls each of the elements, the bokeh lights, towards that. So this photo has some sort of purple and blue in it, and so anyway, I can make the lights go towards whatever color I want. Like I say, if you do this remix, sometimes it'll be a certain color, sometimes there'll be lots of different colors. Because of the algorithm of how it overlays it over a photo, it will generally pick up some of the colors from the image beneath. But anyway, you can see how this can make some really cool moody stuff. One thing that I will just mention quickly here is sort of a kind of a secret hack, which is the last two values, the floating point part, the decimal of this remix value, will just change the size of the bokeh. So this is 0.15 right now, which is relatively small. So if I change it to 0.55, it's got the same shapes, the same colors, but it made much larger lights. If I just change this slightly, 5.4, 5.3, You can see as it gets smaller, it will make more of the dots. If I put this at 0.00, it'll be the smallest ones. And like I say, you can always adjust this density. But what I like to do generally is just choose somewhere on this slider to click. And then I just click until I find one that looks pretty good, and then tweak it as needed. This one you can see has all sorts of colors in it, which is kind of what this city shot has. But again, I can, if I decide I want to pull them all towards pink or whatever, purple, I can do that. Note that on the top part of this slider, if I pull it all the way to the left, we'll just pull them all towards light, or white, sorry. And at the bottom, it will pull them all towards that saturated color, and then you can do everything in between. I can show that actually. That's kind of hard to see on this photo because the colors are so sort of bold. Let's try one last photo, like a wedding photo. It's the kind of photos that you'd often want to add some magic to. Bokeh Lights effect. I don't remember if I showed this before, but it's in the photographic section. Just down below lens flare, there are related effects. So if I click this, you can see it's got some nice lights, but you know, in a shot like this, the kind of things that would cause these points of light outside of the focus plane would be like, you know, cottonwood fluff floating in the air, catching the sunlight, or bugs, or, you know, even water or something that catches the light and makes little points of light in the sky. But in something like this, it probably wouldn't make sense for them to be different colors. And so this is one where I might want to just pull them all towards this one sort of warm white color, and then maybe adjust the amount down. And yeah, it looks pretty nice. But then I can just hit remix and it will keep them all with that color and that sort of relative amount. And then I can just find ones, keep clicking until I find something that I really like. And you don't want to overdo this. And there's no solid rule for what is overdoing it. Different people will have different tastes for this, but it is something that can, if you go wild with it, it can look pretty cheesy. And so often you just want something kind of subtle that doesn't stand out too much, that people won't initially think, oh, that's not part of the original photo. You want it to feel like something that could have actually been taken with the photo. Anyway, that's the Bokeh Lights in CameraBag 2022.1. Available now for Mac and PC. We hope that you love it. Thanks a lot.